Richard Drew managed to take off the flight of one of the victims of the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. The publication of the photo caused a lot of protest from people who called the reporter insensitive. He himself looked at it differently. 10 years after the event, he said in an interview that he considers this image to be an unknown soldier, representing all who shared his fate that day. 2 years after the September 11 tragedy, Esquire staff reporter Tom Jones tried to figure out who is deceived in one of the most famous photographs of the day and why society wants to erase this evidence from collective memory. In 2006, based on the essay The Fallen Man, a documentary was shot, shown in more than 30 countries around the world. The person in the picture lived this wood like an hero. He didn't choose such a fate for himself, but it seemed that in his last moment he managed to accept it. If he had not fallen, he probably would have flown. It seems that he isn't afraid of the divine power of gravity and his future fate. His arms are extended along the body, only slightly deviating to the sides. He bent one knee in the unusual, comfortable way. He is wearing a white shirt, jacket or red, having with the sail from under black trousers. On his feet are black high boots. In other pictures, people who decide on this jump out of the windows as if flying their own discrepancy with the sail of a monstrous reality. Some are naked to the waist, should fly off them while then fly, helplessly wearing their arms. They look dumbfounded, like swimming diamond along a cliff. The person in the picture, on the contrary, is strictly vertically, as if following the articulate lines behind him. Something in this picture, the embodiment of stoicism, while power, save Daniel, others see something unparalleled and therefore terrible: freedom. There is something rebellion in the pose of a man, as if releasing the inevitability of death. He agreed with her. This picture literally jumped out of the screen due to its vertical symmetry, says Drew. People began to jump from the windows shortly after the first plane crashed into the North Tower and the 5 stopped. They continued to jump until the tower collapsed. At first they fell out of the broken windows, then they themselves broke the glass to crash down. They jumped to escape from fire and smoke, when ceiling began to crumble over their heads, and the floors began to fall under their feet. They jumped to breathe again before dying. Journalists tried to identify the person who could be shown in the picture, and asked people what they remember about the last day of the life of their son, husband, father, acquaintance. But do you need to ask their questions? What they assimilate and pain the people live with? There were many assumptions. Anyone could turn out to be a fallen person, but for sure we only know one thing. Something that we didn't doubt from the very beginning. September 11, 2001, and 9 hours, 41 minutes, 13 seconds, a photographer named Richard Drew took a picture of a man falling from heaven, flying through time and space. His picture went around the world and then disappeared as if we willed effort to erase it from memory. This photo, like all the graves of unknown soldiers around the world, appeals to us, demanding that we look at it and make one thing conscious. The recognition is that we know who he is, the fallen man.